going to do is we're going to turn this block into this shape. This is my cool design. All the holes are drilled, okay? The gumball hole, the turning hole, and the hopper hole. You got to have those holes drilled before you start turning it on the lathe if you're putting it on the lathe. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to find the center of this first. So I'm going from corner to corner, okay, and then corner to corner. I just use any kind of straight edge would work. Okay, so I got that. Now what you're going to do is take a scratch off, put it right in your middle, pierce it in, and then kind of take it out and do it one more time just to make sure it's good. And you're going to take your spur, and I'm using number 2 spur, so I'm going to label it number 2. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the spur, put the middle into there, and I'm going to drive these spur teeth into it. Okay, so it locks into it. You see this? Locks right in. Okay, now if I take this off, I'm going to put a mark here. So I remember that's where this hole lines up. Okay, so if I take it off the next day I come in, I know that that hole lines up with that mark. And I put it right there and reset it with a leather mallet. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to put it on the lathe. Okay, so come over here. The way the lathe works is, okay, this is your tool support. We're going to adjust that out. This spur is tapered, so it's going to go inside here. Okay, we're going to put it inside there. Then we're going to take the tail stock and we're going to bring it to it. Okay, and it's good if you let that stick out at least a ½ inch. Okay, and then we're going to bring this right to it. Okay, and then we're going to lock back here. This is the tail stock. We're going to push this down, put some weight on it. Then you're going to crank this or turn this. Okay, so it kind of puts pressure. So this all goes together. And if you turn this, you'll see this slightly moving back right here. Some sawdust. You'll see it slightly move back. When it moves back slightly, and it's moving back now, if you can get that in video, okay, you can see it's kind of moving back. That means you have enough pressure. Then we're going to tighten this tailstock lock, just make that snug. Now you're going to bring the tool support in as close as you can to the piece that you're turning, but you do not want it to touch. So you want to kind of bring it in as close as you can, but not touch it. Okay, that looks pretty good right there. Now the height of the tool rest is also important. I always say, when you set it, you're going to put a pencil under here. For what we're doing, a spindle turning, a pencil height would be perfect. Okay, so you're going to tighten it right there. Okay, and that's how high you want it to be. Again, always spin it by hand to make sure it's safe. Okay, now we're ready to turn it. The first tool you're going to use is a gouge. It has a G on the end. Okay, I'm just going to round it a little bit, and my idea is to make it look like this, a cool design. Okay, so I'm going to round it a little. So I'm going to start it up right here. Okay, and then I'm going to take my gouge and I'm going to round it. I'm going to hold one hand on the end here, the other hand holding this down, and you want to keep it pretty much parallel. Okay. Now you're going to notice the gap is getting bigger. It's going to get a little bit more. I'm going to get a wider gouge. See where the gap gets bigger? You can get that on video. You see the gap got bigger. Okay, when the gap gets bigger, you need to reposition the tool rest. Okay, you can see that I rounded it a little. But when that gap gets bigger, this can be dangerous if that gets caught in there. So we want to just kind of loosen this up again, bring it a little closer, and then I can continue to turn and I'll start to make the shape. Okay, I'm going to turn it. Okay, now I'm going to start making the shape. The next tool I'm going to use to get this round part, I'm going to use a round nose chisel. And that's kind of like in the middle. I'm going to put it right about here. Round part, I'm going to put a little V in it. Okay, I can use a skew to do that. The skew looks like this. Okay, there's a little V near the bottom. the V. Now I got the V that. Now I want this to be kind of triangled off or cut the corner. I'm going to use a wider skew for that. This will be the top. Alright, I'm just going to taper that away. Now sometimes I can use a round nose chisel because it seems to take off a little faster. And I can use this. Okay, I'm almost done. I'm just going to check it with my skew to make sure it's even. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just sand it, final sand it. So I'm going to take a look at it. That's going to be my design right there. I'm going to stop right there, but that's what I got. That's what my design is going to be. Now I'm going to sand it. When you sand, you want to take off the tool rest because you don't want your fingers to get pinched. Okay, and you're going to take this right here and you're going to turn it on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand it while it's running. Paint or coat color. Alright, so I got that sanded. Now you can also paint on the lathe too if you wanted to. But you could kind of see my design here. Kind of sets like this. That's the cool design. This will be where the gumballs come out the turner, and there's the top. Okay, so if I wanted to paint this, I could paint it on the lathe, or I can paint it without the lathe. But I'm going to show you with a pencil. If I was to paint this on the lathe, I'm just going to use a pencil. You would turn it on, and it's nice if the machine is turning a little slower. And if you wanted to paint this, you see the way the color is there? You can actually paint on the lathe. That's a good thing. All right, so just to give you an idea. All right, so let's say that's done and you're finished for the day, and you're gonna take it off now. Okay, you're gonna take it off. So the way you take it off is you loosen this up right here, or loosen here. Okay, you can pull this up, about up to there, and slide that back. You're going to unhook it here. Okay, so that's all taken care of. Now you got to get the spur out. To get the spur out, use just a piece of metal. And we're going to put it through here, and we're going to hold it and just gently tap it out. Okay, and now you're ready to start the next step. Okay, if you needed to.